Hello, crafty family. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Anthony. I'm here to work on some journal covers. I needed to get some journals made. I will be in a business expo February 10th. So I am busy working on some junk journals for that event. What I'm using today for my covers are the Amazon Prime envelopes. So I'm using junk mail, and I'm using these envelopes. I like using these envelopes because of the noise and the squishiness of it. I love the feel of these once I put my fabric cover on it. So what I do first is I start off by cutting them down to 9 by 12. So here's one that I've already cut down. So I'll cover it and then I'll fold it. So this one is cut down as well. Cut this one down. This one looks perfect, but it may be a little too long. Okay. Yeah. This one here is just a little long, so I just take my paper cutter. I usually have to finish it with the scissors because sometimes it doesn't cut all the way through, and I think my blade is getting dull as well. So I'm just going to cut this down to 12 inches. I also have this kind. This one is Walmart shipping, what do you call it? A mailer. So I've cut that one down. Also, this one has some, let's see, in the inside, the layers there's this like puffy stuff in there. I love the sound of that. So I'll be using that one. And then I have this Amazon mailer as well, and I've already cut that one down. Let's see here. I have another Amazon Prime. And it's just this one here. It's thinner, but once you add cardstock to the inside, it really makes it sturdy, and then fabric on the outside. So same thing, I just check the size and cut it to the size I like to work with. So yeah, I didn't have to cut too much off of this one. Just a little bit from each side. Oh, that doesn't look straight. Let's see here. Yeah, it wasn't quite made straight, so. But anyway, that is what that looks like. So yeah, 6 by 9. Okay, so then next what I do is I pick out my fabric that I'm working with. I use a variety of fabrics. I like to use these fabric placemats from the Dollar Tree as a cover. So let's see here. Move my cutter out of the way. So say I wanted to cover this, what I would do is I would put that down, and I usually put a little glue to hold it, because what I do is I go back around and I sew it. If it's super wrinkly, I go ahead and iron out the wrinkles. So I actually have my good iron because I'm upstairs, but I do have an iron downstairs in my craft space that I use for, you know, crafting. But anyway, I am going to pick out probably a cardstock to go on the other side of this one. I'm just trying to think of what journals I'm making in this batch, because I'm getting ready for this expo, which is a Black history, but it's called Black Herstory because a lot of Black women in business are the vendors at this expo. So I am doing some journals with some beautiful Black women on the covers, and this actually was a calendar that I cut up, and I'm going to be using some of these images on my covers. But I'll just show you real quick. I just put a little glue, and I usually use my Fabri-Tac, but it's downstairs and I don't really feel like going down there to get it. So I'm just going to lay this placemat on. Now, you can see through that a little bit, but since I will be having an image on the front, I'm not going to worry about it this time. But normally, if I can see through my fabric that I'm using, I will put a piece of cardstock or computer paper or something underneath, you know, so that way you can't see any writing or anything that's on the packaging. Okay, guys, I'm back. I did decide to cover both sides of the envelope with some black cardstock to prevent the see-through, just because when I fold it, my back of my cover would show. And then with my blind self, of course, I ended up messing up my cut there, but I will fix it. I mean, it's a junk journal. I can definitely figure out a way to fix it. So I ended up going with this one and the yellow because I figured that this would look nice on the cover in the background. So I think I'm going to have this part in the back and then I'll fix that. So anyway, it'll be like this. And then for my pocket, So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready and sew around it, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's sewn around. The pocket is a little short on this side, so I had to go back to grab it. And of course I ran out of thread on my bobbin, so I had to rethread my bobbin. So everything that could happen is happening, of course. That is one of the reasons why I struggle with doing my projects on camera, because everything happens when I am crafting and videoing. Not to say that it doesn't happen when I'm not videoing it, but it's just a little frustrating when I'm trying to make a video for you and everything just goes crazy on me. So I think I'm going to continue around just so I can make sure it is sewn. I don't mind there being multiple rows of stitching. I think it adds character to the journal. Did I mention that I'm not a professional sewer? So it won't be perfect. Down once I fold it, I'll either glue my pocket down the center or sew. I usually sew. So this glue has dried, but it's see-through. So I will add some type of embellishment there. And I am thinking of, once I trim this up, I am thinking of putting some metal corners on there, the book corners. I like the way it feels. It feels really nice. I do need to, like I say, trim it up. There will be some yellow showing up top, but I do not mind that at all. And you know what? I'm going to sew around my picture here and then glue it on, because I didn't sew it to my fabric. But if you want to have a sewn look of a journal cover picture or something, if you don't sew it beforehand to the fabric, you could just sew around it and then glue it on, and you can't even tell the difference. But if you are going to add something and sew it, you need to sew it to the front of the cover before you add the inside, so that way all the stitching is covered up. But if you like the stitching look on the inside, I mean, that's fine as well, which I have done that before and I liked it. So I don't know, it just depends on your preference. So this is how I'm going to fix my cover, where I had a little boo-boo right there, and then there was a spot there. I've already glued that down. I'd like to take strips of fabric and paper and just ruffle them. I'd like to make ruffles by just zigzag stitching down the middle on my sewing machine, and I just push the material or paper up to, you know, crinkle it to make a ruffle pattern. So I like to use those on the edges of my journal pages and to make embellishments out of them. So today I just decided to use them on the cover just to disguise where I messed up at. That's how I'm fixing it today. I'm going to glue my cover picture down, and see what I did is I zigzag stitched around it. So it's just an old calendar. So I'm going to glue that down. And then I need to add some ribbon to make a closure. I did grab these orange and yellow ribbons, but I don't know. I don't want it to look like Halloween. So I'm back to show you the finished cover. Here it is. I did add grommets, and I put one of my ruffle pieces there in the front, just adding a little more glue. And I also added some ruffles to the back to cover up my mistakes. So there was a little spot in the middle. And then the lower ruffle is covering where I cut off my placemat too short. So yeah, I'm finished with this one. Like I said, I don't mind the yellow peeking out up top. It brings the yellow out in the picture. And I just added 2 ribbons, the yellow and the orange. And I didn't use the grommets on this one. I just sewed the ribbons on these two, the front and the back. And then I added some ruffles in the inside cover. There, the glue was showing through on the yellow fabric there. I sewed down the middle of my pockets. And yeah, it's turned out cute. I like the way it turned out. It's nice and squishy. I am finished with that one, and now I will start working on the rest of the covers. Okay, so now I'm done sewing this cover. I've added pockets, and now I need to add my cover panel, and that is the picture that I chose for this one. I will be just gluing that on. I did sew around the panel, and now I'm just going to glue it to my cover. So that is what I'm doing here. So here in this next clip, I'm going to add my closure. So I need to take my crocodile. I'm going to pick out some grommets that I want to use that will match the cover, and I will punch the holes in and add my grommets. And then I'll pick out some ribbon to string through the holes to make my closure. So now I'm just going to get these other covers made, and then I'll be back to share with you how they turned out. So I'll be right back. So now I'm back. Here are the 4 that I have completed. I did add beads to the spine on these, and this one here I've added some book corners, but there's my little bead dangles on this one here. I have added the string, the elastic string in the middle to add my signature in. So they're ready to go. They just need the signatures. So I'm just sharing with you how they turned out. I will have another clip showing these and some other ones that I have made where I've added more embellishments to them. I've added buttons on the covers just to further embellish them. Now here I'm just trimming up a little of my string, the elastic for the signature. But I love how these turned out, and I think these will be perfect for this expo. This is the expo is in February, which is Black History Month. So I love that I have these melanin women to include in my journals. So hopefully they sell. If they do not sell, they will be listed in my Etsy shop, which it will be posted in the description box. Right now, I'm not going to list these in there until after the expo. So yeah, that one, it was the first one that I completed, and love how it turned out with the orange and black. And then this was the second one that I used the little thin envelope, and adding the cardstock and the fabric actually made it a lot sturdier. And then once the signature is in, it will be perfect. The beads are a little heavy on there. I did add beads on the ties of this one, so it wants to fold because like I say, it is the thinner envelope, but it does feel a lot sturdier, but it needs that signature in there for sure. And then the next one I made, it has the beads going all the way down the spine. Love how that turned out. I embellished the cover with like some glitter and some black stickles, and I think it turned out really pretty. I love mixing the different prints and the papers. So just trimming up my elastic here as well. So those are the four. The next clip will show all of them laid out. I laid them out on my bed, and it's zoomed in so you can see some of the details. So yeah, I'll put that to music, and that will be the end of the video. Just watch it to the end and subscribe to the video to the channel if you have not already done so, and hit the bell to be notified when I upload some more videos. Thank you for stopping by. I would love to have you be a permanent crafty friend of mine, so feel free to hit that button. So until the next one, everyone, keep crafting. Bye-bye.